Well, by the time we're 93, I assume all car washes will just be women squirting on the line.
Oh. Son, you're gonna meet a boy. Goes by the name of Drama. Real piece of shit. Let me tell you a couple things. Drinking sun, beer, river, dick, come naked, fun, drink, yell, spit, smoke.
Had a real soft,
I found a
butthole. I got a big sandy gaping asshole.
Who's mad? Who's mad? I am 50 Cent and who's mad?
Hello.
Hola. Post gap.
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus Christ. Someone's got big retard energy.
Isn't that what we need going forward? Just up so late drinking that you had to...
I wasn't up that late drinking, but I had to be here. And I'm terrified of... Could you imagine if I'm ever late? You would fucking kill me.
If you...
Because
honestly,
late.
I wouldn't kill it. I would be like...
You would never let it go.
No, what I would honestly do is I would look... Because I'm not vindictive like that. I would just look at you and be like...
Yeah, which is...
That's one.
The smugness that
Versus my 100? Like, come on. I think you're allowed to get one.
Yeah, that's what would make me so angry.
Yeah.
Is that you would be smug. And I
wouldn't treat you how I treated Cole when I was winning. Okay.
You treat me like shit all the time. Let's talk about it.
Because you treat me like shit all the time. Let's talk about it.
Oh, let's not talk about it.
Yeah, let's
You're
talk
making
about
everything suck, dude.
Wait a minute. So, if it's... I realize this.
These cigarettes.
I was going to say, that
These
smells bad.
Fine. Newports.
That smells so bad. Because I haven't craved a cigarette since the cabin. And then, like...
You shouldn't.
I saw you pull them out, and I was like... maybe just one. But then I'm smelling that one, and I'm
fine.
like...
You get over it.
No, it's not fine.
You get over it. They're just stale. They're stale. And not a single fucking cigarette was taken out of this pack. It was opened and abused, and nothing was missing. That's the most irritating thing.
Is that how we could describe the cabin for this year? Open, abused, and nothing taken out of it? Yeah.
I don't know. I think things were taken out. Hey, folks. It's the Dapper Dads.
The Dapper Dads.
We're back. It's episode...
155?
No.
8,
I think
9,
8. I think it's 8. Right?
I don't know
158?
158?
Right? Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know why we keep looking at that board that has no information.
It just shows a...
I died.
A ghost hand comes out, but it's like I recently rewatched this Grave Encounters. Super underrated, in my opinion. But, like, where the scene where all, like, the hands are coming out of the walls and stuff like that, just a bunch of hands show up with the numbers, 158 fingers come out of that wall.
Yeah, and we can count it.
And then they all just go and float back in. Gotta watch the video for what the hands are doing, folks.
Yeah, because the video works all
if
the
it
time.
works this time, god damn it. We want to formally apologize again, even though we put out
I want to
statement.
apologize for anything.
I don't want to apologize.
It was an act of God.
God didn't want you to see it. That's what happened. God didn't want you to see what we did. We sinned. We sinned a lot, and God doesn't want you to always see it. Sometimes God, or whatever you want to call it, wants to protect you from us because our strength and visualization is so intense that you yourself may go blind if you gaze too long. So God was taking care of you as much as you're probably thinking, wow, those super wet ASMR sounds made me come in my sleep. I want to see it. You don't.
That footage is in hell with the Whopper challenge.
It's in, oh my God, yeah. Can you imagine? That's how we know we're in hell. We like, okay, so like you die.
Okay.
You just drive in and then like, bam, and then like you're somewhere else,
So I'm just driving and I die?
Yeah, you've been T-boned by a truck full of hillbillies doing a getaway, and they just T-bone middle of nowhere. You're just
get away from what?
The police, because they found their shine stack out back by the creek.
It's not illegal to make shine.
It's so illegal to make shine. To make moonshine?
I gotta go.
I gotta go check on
something.
something.
It's been on the verge of exploding, and it's illegal?
Boom! Well, I must have been that bean I had for dinner last night.
But I get T-boned.
But you get T-boned, you die, and then suddenly you're like on a couch somewhere, and it's like it's like the waiting room music. Yeah, it's the beginning. No, it's
oh no.
And then the like 100,000-foot TV that's in front of you turns on, and you're like, okay. And then you're like, am I in heaven or hell? And then it's just the Whopper footage mixed with us eating the noodle. Is it just footage of us eating? Because I realize it's just footage of us eating in hell.
I want to emphasize that we're we did not put out the hot noodle footage.
Like it just doesn't.
It recorded for 15 seconds and stopped, which is an act of God, because it probably would have been something that was regrettable to watch. Also, listening to it now, I understand Hot Ones, because listening back to it, it didn't sound like it was that bad. You know what I mean? Now I'm like, oh, that must be Hot Ones, as you can't even explain like how hot it is. Because I was like, we sound really normal, and I can't forget the pain that I went through.
Yeah, I can't forget seeing your face, because like you get this look on your face when like you're either very angry or like something like I don't know.
Angry, horny, sad. It's the same look.
It's not always necessarily an angry look though. Sometimes it's just like really concerned is what I would call it. You know, like you're
always really concerned.
Like your eyebrows furrow and like you're just looking around and
it's
like
my dad face.
You're kind of like sneering a little bit. Like you kind of look like a fox with his foot in a trap. And like we're trying to get
a lot of people
we're trying to get close and we're like, hey buddy, hey, it's okay, just calm down. Hey, and you're like and you're like spinning around. You're like, no, he's gonna twist his ankle. Oh my god, somebody's getting. And then like your kid is like, I'll just jump on him and hold him down, and you're like, shut up, you're 8, you can't do that. Oh my god.
Then he does, and that's the day you realize he's stronger than you.
Yeah, he holds down the fox with both his hands, takes his foot and disarms the trap and opens it, picks up the fox.
Takes his foot, puts it in the trap because he thinks animal life is better than his human life.
Wow, he's better than his vegan father.
Yeah, and he just looks at you like, this is called...
He looks at me and he goes, I know you eat cheese sometimes. And I'm like, fuck, man. I'm sorry. They can't stop making cheese things at places and expect me to not try it out.
That's the kids that we have. They just like come up to us when we're by ourselves and they tell us like the things we're most ashamed of.
Like you're sitting there smoking like river Newports when you're like, I don't know, 96. And
that doesn't seem like that adds up at all.
Old as hell with your 3-year-old son coming up to you and he's like, Father, the smoking will give you cancer and kill you. And you're like, shit.
I'm 96 and I had a baby at 93.
Yeah, I
should be dead.
You're like, which one are you?
Should be dead. How did you can't come from 93-year-old
you, Slim?
You can't be birthed from my 93-year-old seed.
Maybe you can't. There's only one way to find out, and that's to find someone who will fuck 93-year-old drama. If you would like to fuck 93-year-old drama, go to www.thedapperdads.com, where you can make an anonymous submission, but don't make it anonymous. If you want to be anonymous now until he's 93.
No, we need paperwork signed.
Actually, yeah,
you can't die.
We need it. I don't know if I'm using the word correctly here, but I'm going to say we need an affidavit saying that.
Fuck yeah.
We need an affidavit with some judicial jurorship saying that you will ride
Let's get the court involved for me being
I want
93.
the highest court. I want them all to be high. I want everybody to smoke before they make the decision.
I have to be honest, if I'm going to be fucked when I'm 93, I feel like this is going to come across wrong.
Yeah, I was going to say, okay.
They shouldn't be born yet.
Whoa. I'm going to agree with it, but what a hill to die on. Oh 93. My God. What a hill to fucking get your dick sucked on. Good Lord.
Just a hot 18-year-old on my 93.
Whoa, why does she got to, can't she be like 45 or something?
No, I'm 93.
Right, if you're 93. Hold on, math.
I have to explain everything to her about how the world was.
Oh my God, you're going to have to, if you're 93 and she's 18, you're going to have to explain how some things work, I feel like.
Everything.
I was gonna say everybody.
She's gonna have to explain to me how sex works because I've long forgotten.
I was gonna say
it was a thing of the past.
Does it count? I was gonna say like okay, so everybody looks at it like if you were like 45 and you were like, I want a fucking 18-year-old, everybody would be like, you're creepy. A fucking creep. Yeah. But like at 93, it's kind of like good for him.
If possible.
Like if you can get a hard dick naturally at 93 and you're like, I want a fucking 18-year-old.
Hard dick naturally at 93.
That's what I'm saying.
There's nothing natural about a hard 93-year-old
I was going to say, I mean, there's definitely some sort of conjuring involved. I don't know what demon you summoned for this.
Whisper spells into my penis.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be some kind of ritual like that involving the penis, right? Because I feel like any ritual
good old ritual involving the penis.
I mean, I don't know any other type of blood magic that you do, but all my blood magic involves the blood of the penis, not the blood of the brain.
There's going to be some blood that needs to be put into my penis.
If you can tell me the difference between blood magic, blood penis magic, and regular blood magic, email us at dapperdadspodcast@gmail.com because I would love to know the difference, and we are not allowed to do math, we recently got another, and I'm going to say it again, affidavit in the mail saying that we are not allowed to discuss discuss anything medical on the show. We are not allowed to dispense medical advice. And to that we say, we're doctors of love, and we have the certificates to prove it that we printed out ourselves from the game machine at Chuck E. Cheese.
I'm also on the cover of Time magazine.
Yeah, I'm on the cover of the one where it was a mirror on the front. And it's like, the person of the year is you. And they're like, who's the person of the year? And I'm like, me? And they're like, no, it's you. You said you, implying me, but I hate it so much. Ah!
It's so confusing. What do we say? Did you say dapperdads.com?
Yeah.
Then patreon.com/dapperdads. There's still things happening over
where
there.
you can find out the secrets of the universe. We said...
Yeah, all the things we can't say on here, on Patreon, we're just doing math and medical advice.
Yeah.
Tell us about your low T.
Forbidden knowledge.
We're figuring that out for sure.
We're
on top of low
like,
T.
It's like Dr. Oz.
We don't have it at all. We have big T.
We have big T.
Big T, little cap.
Big T, little caps on the... But we also have little caps on the big
T's.
T's. Yeah, huge T's.
Like when you learn to...
like,
read letters and they're all characters.
It's like a thimble on a counter. That's how tiny the cap is.
It's almost hard to see.
You
got to pull out your finest spectacles to see this cap.
It's like a thimble on a lawn. It's like my dick next to my pubes. You cannot see it.
Yeah, just a little bump.
Little tiny little flicker.
Covered by a bunch of other bumps in your pubic mound.
I mean, I'm not...
On the Patreon, we talk about our gross pubic mounds.
We talk
in there.
Which one of us was paid to be a medical experiment in college where our dick got poked a bunch and there was things put in it? Find out on the Patreon for $5 schmackers a month.
Who got paid money to do it? Who did it because they were bored and college didn't stimulate me enough, so I'm just in the fucking classroom just stapling my dick.
Holy shit, some real Albert Fish Hellraiser shit, just stapling your dick, and the teacher's like, oh, excuse me, I'm trying to talk about physiology here.
Come up to the front.
And you're like, I have many things to show you, as you're just ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk.
Come up to the front of the class for your presentation. It's just me bleeding through my shorts. Like, what I want to tell you guys is stapling your dick is bad for you. There's a 93-page PowerPoint that I didn't make because I don't... Who uses
There's
PowerPoint?
a 93-page PowerPoint I made about how at 93 years old, I'm going to have a 3-year-old.
Yeah, they're like, is it about stapling your dick or is it about getting boned when you're 93? And I'm like, they're both.
And you're like, okay, first slide. Do you guys remember back in 2019 when the guy said that all the food you ever ate is inside of you forever and you have to mix your body with metal? I believe what he was saying is you have to staple your dick a lot to get to 93, where you will then have a 3-year-old. And the only way to test that is to staple your dick now to see if you will get to 93 with it and then be able to use your stapled dick at a time in the future.
There's a SVU episode, I think, where there's an old man.
They said SUV, and my brain went, like a rock.
There's a SUV. I'm in the back of it getting boned at 93.
Hell
it
yeah.
flies, of course. Flying cars. No, there's no suspension in cars when I'm 93.
I drive by also at 93, playing some old-ass trap.
Which is interesting.
Playing some old-ass trap. You're just like, and then leave. Then leave.
Squirt is cool, but it stank.
Who's playing that classical music?
Who's
You're
squirting
18?
all over that old man.
I drive by, just on the window, it looks like a car wash when it's like, and it's just hitting your window, you know? And you're like, God, it's going to shatter my fucking windshield.
Well, by the time we're 93, I assume all car washes will just be women squirting on the car.
Oh, I'm pissed that that's not the future we live in now.
I know. That's how it works. Is you're going to die
through the car wash, women just squirting all over. I can't give her none. Yeah, I can't tell her none.
But I think there's a SVU episode, I believe.
Doubt it.
Where there's a very old man and he has a bunch of money and this lady's trying to like become pregnant by him so she gets the money. And like he's about to die in the hospital and she's just riding him and they go in and they're like, stop riding him. And then I think she does get pregnant.
That's how I want to go.
It's one of those SVU episodes where you're like, what's going on? This was ripped straight from the headlines?
Straight from the headlines. But
what headline was this?
Any relation to any real life incidents is simply coincidental. Thanks, Dick Wolf.
Big Dick Wolf.
Bum, bum, dun, dun, dun.
Go to twitter.com @DapperDads. Help us get in touch with Dick Wolf. We've got some radical ideas.
Sometimes I feel I've got to run away. I've got to
Dick Wolf.
Sweet Caroline.
They were all subtler than I assumed.
I know. I wanted like ear burstingly loud over
8D. What is it when you listen to things in headphones?
And it like goes back and forth. Yeah.
I'm just listening to gunshots on 8D.
Seems so good. I've been inclined.
Go to Instagram.com, idiot. Go to the app. What's Instagram.com? Go to the app. It's called Instagram. We're rolling out our Reels channels challenge. Reels, the new TikTok.
Reels in the ears.
Riesling in the ears. I'm sipping Riesling.
Are you Riesling in the ears,
What's the Kanye line where I learned what Riesling was? Oh, it's such a good. Is it? Yeah, it's from this town, right? Riesling. Come on, help me.
I don't have it.
Riesling. You know how many words I've learned from rap songs?
A lot.
I hate when people are like, "Oh, it's so stupid." It's like some of it, but I've also learned like pretty important things.
Yeah, I mean,
I learned the word facetious because of Jay-Z song when I was 12, and I was like, I must know what that beautiful sounding word means.
I mean, yeah, that's cool and everything, but have you ever listened to Lil Pump?
Yeah, let's get it. I learned that word too.
Y'all came in with the sauce. Bitch,
Oh,
I flex
man.
Rick Ross. Bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Bitch.
We're talking about real lyrical shit. I've learned so much from these kids, these mumble rappers.
Why his casket open? He's scared.
Yeah, no.
Why his face look like that? Close the casket. He's scary.
No, hold on. I had him over. We're just throwing too many things out there. He looks scary in the casket. Why'd they open it? I forgot about that, and then I was like, "What's this new song on my playlist?" And then it was in the car, and I was like,
why he opened
and then I just want to just
was it over?
Scary in the casket.
Why he open it? He looks scary in the casket. Why he open it?
I want to DJ just that, and people are like, "Good God, this is."
It's
the
like the beginning of "Baby,
I've
I'm Bleeding," where it's like, yeah, but it's like, why is
scary in the casket? Why you open it? He looks scary in the casket. Why you open it? And people are like, "Please stop."
20 minutes later.
I DJ'd.
Why you open it? Why you open it?
I DJ'd one time in my life officially in front of people. And at the time, I feel like I might have said this on here, but at the time, the two things that I was obsessed with looping was Trophies by Drake. He says, "Bitch, I use a walkie-talkie just to get a beverage." He's talking about how his house is so big he has to use one. And I'm like, that's one of the hardest lines ever. And I love to get a little obnoxious. I was like, "Bitch, I use a walkie-talkie just to get a beverage. Bitch, I use a walkie-talkie just to get a beverage. Bitch, I use a walkie-talkie. And then it was the Two Bitches by Young Thug. What is it? If she ain't a virgin, then the pussy only average. If she ain't a virgin, then the pussy only average. And afterwards, people were like, that was so good. And I was like, oh, if I can just play my favorite lines out of songs. And people were like, this is good. And then people appreciated my excessive use of the air horn, which was shockingly louder than the music. And I couldn't figure out how to fix it. So I was just like, you know what will make us forget how loud it is? If you hear it enough, it's normal.
Yeah.
When I did it the first time, it scared the shit out of everybody. And I was like, oh, I know what I'm going to do the entire time.
Yeah, you know what I love? A sound effect so loud that it cancels out what I'm listening to. Like when I'm listening to
Man down, where you from?
Like when you just listen to a song and then it goes, DJ Esco, the coolest DJ in the world.
That's how I feel with this computer. It sends my text to my computer even though my phone's next to me. And I'll be like listening to something or nothing at all. And the iPhone ping on this is tremendously loud. Like it blows me back like a Maxell commercial. I'm getting a drink. I'm getting my dick sucked and the woman flies out of the window because I got a text from you. Also, sometimes since my phone will be next to my computer, neither of them tells me I got a text until way later.
All right.
And I'm like, ugh. And someone was like, can you please help me? I've been shot. And I'm like, ugh.
Someone's like, send help in the next 30 minutes.
Yeah. You know how you love getting a text like, please. I thought you said I'm tying, and I was like, off?
Yeah.
You don't need help. You figured it out, baby.
Dear Dramacles, if you do not send help in the next 30 minutes, I will tie off and die.
I just rewatched The Dirt by Motley Crue, the movie. I think it's underrated because it's so insane.
Yeah, I mean, they did some insane. The fact that they were allowed to do all the shit that they did was insane. Why haven't those guys been Me Too'd yet? Because
yeah, it's in the movie. Surprisingly, I don't think it's shown as intensely, but Tommy Lee beat that woman on the tour bus.
Yeah.
But I watched he was on Steve-O's podcast, and I was like, because Steve-O did the shit when he was 13. He was such a big Motley Crue fan that when they came to wherever he lived in Canada, he called every hotel and asked if there was someone staying under their manager's name. And then he got the manager, and he was like, I'm just a huge fan. So the manager, and Tommy Lee was like retelling the story. He's like, I remember this from like 40 years ago or whatever. And the manager was like, this crazy kid called every hotel and thought to use my name instead of any of the band members' names. And then, so they met him, and there's a picture of little Steve-O with Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx, and they're like super cool to him and gave him backstage pass. And it was such
That's
a
awesome.
fire story. But yeah, Steve-O's like an insane Motley Crue fan. And yeah, Tommy Lee was like, we only got to do the things we did because the internet didn't exist. Otherwise, there's no way we would have got away with it. Vince Neil killed that man because he was drunk driving. And they were like, 18 days in jail and stay sober. Get to kill a guy. The American dream.
Just because you wrote girls, like picture it.
He killed Razzle.
Oh, he did kill Razzle. We don't talk about it enough.
Yeah, and yeah, they had a fucking crazy life. But and I also like, I think it was Tommy Lee was talking about how like they wanted the Dirt to have more because the book is even crazier. Like there's a part where they put a cordless phone in the 80s inside of a woman's vagina and make her call her mom. And then they were even like, and we all felt really bad when it was happening.
Yeah, as you should.
And they would just, yeah, that's terrible. It's a great book. Crazy life. I forgot what my initial point here was. Oh, or like Nikki Sixx fucking died. I know I've said it on here. It's one of my favorite talking points that never goes over well with anyone. But when he OD'd on heroin, they like pronounced him dead. It was on all the news. So he got home from the hospital, turned the TV on, seen a thing that said R.I.P. Nikki Sixx. So then he changed his answering machine to say, hey, you've reached Nikki Sixx. I can't answer the phone because I'm dead. And then he shot up again and died again.
Yeah.
And then he was like, and then I got my life together. And it's like, oh, really?
That's
Only
what
died twice back to back after seeing. Could you imagine turning on the TV and it's just like Slim died today? 1974 to 2020.
Hell yeah.
You're like, you didn't even get the time frame right.
No, they did. You just don't realize
They're
it.
like, yeah, you forgot about the first.
Turns out
that's why you're so big as a child, because you were old.
Turns out I've been lying to everybody my whole life. Like everybody I know.
Fast math, you're 50-ish. Let's just ballpark it. You're about 50. We can't do real math.
I saw the Beach Boys in concert, but when did I see the Beach Boys in concert?
Yeah, we were freestyling the other day, and you said how the Challenger explosion really fucked you up as a child. And I knew something was up.
Something was up.
Yeah, everybody's like, I thought you were the old one. I'm like, turns out Slim's 50.
Turns out Slim is 50.
Doesn't look a day over 65, so.
I remember we were all hanging out.
He's super close to the 93-year-old fucking 18-year-old 3-year-old.
His wife isn't even born yet. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. She's coming up soon.
She's coming up soon. She's in someone's ball sack right now. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about grooming.
Talk about oh my god. Talk about the twinkle in her daddy's eye, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you just go to men's balls. Like, I don't know if this will give me the child that I need to make a 3-year-old child when I'm 96.
I was watching this clip on YouTube from this. It was like this documentary about Japanese instruments, and you can tell the narrator just didn't give a shit at all. When he's
I thought you were gonna say didn't know.
No, he just like didn't give a shit.
And, like a weird guitar.
And it's like it's like this weird old Japanese man showing off these sticks, and he's like, the man says that he chopped down a 450-year-old cherry tree and made 50 sets of sticks just to find the perfect one. And it's like a 2-minute setup, and he's like, you must use 70% of the strength in your left hand and 30% in the right. And he goes, and it produces the perfect sound. And he just goes, conk. And the guy goes, and that's the sound.
Yeah, this is what I want to do. I want us to each take random footage from like a documentary or something and give it to the other one without letting them see it. And then we record like a perfect voiceover for it, not knowing anything about it. And you're like, it looks like this guy has trees and he clapped them together. And that is the perfect sound.
And that's what I'm picturing is like me going around to men's balls and being like, I had to select 50 pairs of men's balls to find the one perfect pair to produce my wife someday.
They're just through like a low ceiling and you're like looking at them with like a pencil. Like, I'm there in a lab coat as well, wearing those glasses.
It's like, you know how they used to do that thing at like hog judging fairs to like see how deep the fat was. They would just like stick a knife in its back just to see how deep the fat is.
So you're gonna stick a knife in a man's ball.
I'm thinking more like a pin, just to be like, how poignant is this ball? I like do lots of things. I like run a feather down the seam in the middle of all of them to see how it tightens up, and then like a flick. Ice cube, icy hot, just
hot cup of coffee,
hot steam from cup of coffee. See how close I can get before I start hearing a from the other side.
Yeah, just to scream. All the men are tied down.
Oh yeah, and they're like right next to each other, also all butt naked. I want everyone to feel really like I want them to feel like cattle, basically.
No, crop tops, but they're all sitting down.
Crop tops, big bulb of garlic and a weight. They're just garlic Joe in it to be the guy who creates the my future wife? Can you imagine?
I don't know. No, I can't. Like, who signs
Do you
up
have to be paid for this, or do you volunteer for this?
Imagine. I think you have to be paid.
But how?
You'll
Okay,
get some volunteers.
okay. How much am I paying 50 men each to come and have their balls get fucked with for me to be like, you gotta go fuck a woman and make my future wife?
I think the price is lower for fucking with the balls, but making someone have a baby that you are going to have sex with when it becomes an adult and you're mad old is like a whole different. You know what I mean?
Well, how do you sell that? Like, how does it,
I don't know.
Like, you know how like dudes get into stocks for like 2 weeks and then they're like, sell me this pencil. They're like, how do you go to somebody and you're like,
sell me your ball sack.
Sell me your ball sack so that you can make my future wife that I'm gonna bang at 93, so I can have a 3-year-old at 96.
I think you got to lead.
I think you got to say exactly that, and then just so they can look at you and be like, "Get out of my house."
Yeah, and you're like, you shouldn't have let me in.
I'd be like, you're 17, going on 18. Do you want to go in? Do you want to go talk to that army recruiter or me?" Like,
the worst part is the balls that you don't choose. You take 2 wood blocks and just crack them together against the ball.
I pay a Japanese man to come and crack them with the perfect pair of sticks that he made, and then a man in the background goes, "And that's the sound."
Yeah. And the guy's like, what the fuck did you do to my balls? And you're like, that was the perfect sound. You could have got your balls clapped by literally anything.
You could have got your balls clapped by like 2 pieces of steel wool on the other end of some boat paddles.
Okay, those make it interesting. I feel like I'd prefer that than just 2 wood blocks.
Yeah, you could have had wood blocks, or you could have had the 450-year-old cherry wood that my ancient Japanese friend over here picked out. He is also 450 years old, and it took him forever to grow that tree just to chop it down and make these blocks. And I'll have you know, the second he claps it 50 times, he dies.
Yeah.
So he's only got 50 claps left in him before
I
he
love the idea that
fucking
we're clapping
strokes out.
everyone's balls, even the best ones.
And then, no, he only claps 49, and then he claps his own, and he goes, "It is finished," and he claps his own nuts, and it's the perfect.
I also like
the perfect sound.
Is it Saw where one of the traps is like 2
nut smashing sticks?
Yeah, but it's like 2 big blocks, maybe. Yeah, there's so many Saw traps, but I feel like there's one where the time goes up and it just bashes the guy's head and it just explodes.
Yeah,
that's what I'm picturing.
I was just picturing
smaller scale.
But I was also picturing a comical like a Rocky and Bullwinkle with like logs, just like boing, you know.
I'm also picturing the
Saw,
thing where you take the ball and it claps through them.
Yeah, but it's your balls.
Yes, men's.
So
balls.
I'm picturing Saw, but in the style of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah, I think we could.
But with a bunch of zany hijinks.
Only the zaniest.
Like, instead of a big pit of needles that they push the pretty girl from Becker into, they push they fall into a pit of, I don't know, Acme grenades or something like that. And
so it's worse?
Yeah, so Rocky and Bullwinkle fall into Acme grenades, and no, it's got to be Boris and Natasha, and they fall into the grenades, and Boris is smoking a little stupid cigar, and he's like, "I don't think fearless leader will be happy when we don't catch moose and flying squirrel," and then they explode.
I like the idea of Rocky and Bullwinkle doing all of the actual Saw traps, like Rocky's hands through the needle thing or whatever.
Oh yeah, I like the idea, but what
the Jesus one where it twists each that's like the most gnarly one. Then it turns the head around, and someone was always so close to figuring out the puzzle.
It's always got to be.
You got to hurt yourself a little bit to show that something.
Life is valuable. I don't know. You got to be willing to make a sacrifice to see how valuable your life really is. I don't know. It's about self-sacrifice or something.
Yeah, like 8
movies
and we
worth
missed
of
the message.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even think I paid attention to half. I think I was tying off, trying to make myself a wife in the future.
Jerking off to all of them.
I was jerking off to Saw, trying to not jerk
in the theater.
Trying to not jerk off to Becker's assistant in that pig mask at the end with the needle gun. I don't know what I'm thinking here.
When that lady, this is just the Saw cast where we talk about our favorite traps. The one with all the guns or something, her head blows off.
The one where the guy has to dig his own eyeball out to get the key that's trapped behind it, and then his head explodes because there's like a bear trap on it.
Yeah, the bear trap one.
Yeah, that was fun.
Becker girl gets away from.
Yeah, because she had to kill someone else to get the key. I think if she had to do something to herself, she wouldn't have been able to. If she had to like dig the key out of her own guts, she wouldn't have been able to do it. But because she had to kill someone else and get the key out, she was able to do it. Because that.
Are you implying it's easier to kill someone than to harm yourself?
Yeah, just like
Let's do it.
You can't choke yourself out. You can choke another man to death, though.
I could choke myself out.
You could not choke yourself out.
All right.
Your body will stop you before you pass out. It's like you can't hold your breath long enough. You can't hold your
choking out.
You can't hold your breath long enough to pass out because your body won't let you do it.
I love a good challenge.
I mean, I'd like to see you do it.
Give me water and a belt.
No belt. You just have to sit there and go and hold your breath until you pass out.
I can't do it. I've seen someone do it.
You can. Yeah, no, they faked it.
They hit their head.
You do it for real. I want to see you do it for real.
Not on the show. No more stupid challenges.
We say that.
How do we get so immediately after a stupid challenge? We're like, you know what we need?
Because we get drunk. Because we get fucked up.
Challenges.
Because we get fucked up and we like forget. I don't know. I think getting fucked up erases the parts of our brain that remembers the bad parts of getting fucked up and only remembers the good parts.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Eh.
I remember all the bad things.
All I do is remember bad things, you know?
That's why you get fucked up.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the cabin?
Yeah, we could talk about the cabin.
We went to the cabin.
We did go to the cabin.
Case closed.
Case closed. It was a fair time. Nobody was hurt.
Yeah, I don't want to be like boring about it. What were the highlights of the cabin?
I can't remember
Nothing.
a damn thing.
Not a single thing.
Not a single thing. It was a pretty standard year, I would say.
My back got fucking burnt, and it's been itchy and peeling in my shirt, and I've been just ripping off huge chunks and pulling them out of my shirt, showing them to people.
This shoulder burned and is peeling, but this shoulder did not?
Oh.
I don't understand.
I did a perfect, because, like, my back is tan from where my shirts rest.
Mm-hmm.
And then I burned it, but I was wearing that hat, so there was a thin line, not even thin, like an inch line of just no sun at all, because the hat blocked it, and I got burned underneath, and I'd previously got burned. Well, remember so I just have like a little back necklace.
Remember the Minneapolis trip where Matt got burned like around his neck?
Oh,
it was
yeah.
Like, it looked like a sunburn necklace he had.
Yeah, I haven't been sunburned this badly in a long time. Because I feel like I never get sunburned at the cabin.
I have such a thing about like peely, like one of my big bugaboos is like peely skin, holes in skin. Like I have that like trypophobia thing where like you see the holes and shit. They should. There's people who like, I like it. And I'm like, you're one of those freaks that likes that pimple popping videos, aren't you? But no, like I took off, like it was one of those things where like I was putting lotion on it and trying to like keep it hydrated and stuff, drinking a lot of water. But then like I looked at it one day and I was like, this bitch is gonna peel like after I put a shirt on later, I swear to God. And then like I took my shirt off and it was like boom, and I was like, yeah.
See, I've just been obsessed. Like I'll itch my back and I'll feel it, and then I just get so that I'm just sitting at my computer and just peeling off.
Yeah, that's my problem.
And I stand up and a bunch falls out of the back of my shirt and onto my chair, and I'm like, this fucking is gross.
This sucks.
This is gross.
I hate it because
no one sees.
I hate it because I look at it and my brain immediately is like, peel it, get rid of it. And so like I start, but then your brain does that thing where you like see how big of a piece you can get or like how long of a piece. But then you like start getting to the edge where it's not burned, and you're like, okay, this is good, but like I want more
just
skin.
Keep peeling the
I
good
want
skin
more
off.
skin.
Or you peel like in a spot that's still raw, and then it hurts. And then once you peel it away, you're like,
and then you get in
the put it back.
And then you get in the shower, and then like you get the hot water on it, and you're like, oh my God. Yeah. This is the hottest. I think my body might be burning right now. It's cooking.
That's how it was when I finally got home. I eventually took a shower, and I had forgotten because I didn't realize it was that bad. And then I just talked to Matt about this, and I was like, yeah, it was pretty bad. And he was like, yeah, your back was fucked. And I was like, I don't remember anyone specifically telling me that my back was fucked. We all told you your back was fucked. I don't remember anybody specifically telling me.
Can you remember the worst sunburn you've ever had?
I remember
I can't.
One time when I was a kid on the top of my feet, like just full blown, I did not do anything and my feet were just out. And I think it might have been like just the first time because the top of your feet
that you forget
is
about
the worst. And then you usually have to put socks and shoes on. Like you go to school or something
and then,
where
like,
you
it's just rubbing all day and it's hot.
And yeah, because I always forget about the feet. I used to also be bad with like my ears and nose. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't know, but I don't think that's the only one I ever think of just because I remember my feet being in so much pain. And my mom used to put aloe on me so aggressively, and I won't do anything now. I'll just deal with it because aloe is grosser to me than just having the sunburn.
See, I like aloe.
It's so sticky, and then I'm like, oh.
I mean, I'm not gonna
suck.
If I'm gonna put aloe on, it's gonna be without a shirt. Like I'm not gonna sit there without a shirt and do it. But like, yeah, I don't mind it.
I don't. It feels achy. Also, my hand hurts so bad from frisbee still.
Yeah, mine has like a weird
feels like it's getting worse.
My boss could not believe that we were throwing frisbee so hard that it was bruising hands. I was like,
yeah,
that's how you have to win.
Like bruise.
Yeah, it was like this whole area right here was like purple.
Yeah, I only have it right here, and I feel like that's just specifically where I catch it is just right there. And yeah, I also was like, I feel like such a bitch that the frisbee bruised my hand.
Well, because he was like, you guys were throwing a frisbee so hard that you
it's a game. We're
hands.
Not throwing. Yeah, when you throw a frisbee, you just like
I was like the goal isn't like to like toss it and have fun. I was like, you gotta like slice it so it hits the thing so hard that it fucks everything up. I was like, it's a game.
You gotta fucking kill each
I was like, you gotta slice it. I was like, you either gotta throw it so that they're scared to catch it and they don't catch it, or that it's so hard.
Tactic.
I don't know, man.
I don't like what you do. I liked being on your team.
Yeah, you like. I was saying, and that's what all of you said at each time when we were.
I
on
wish
the
you
team
could
together.
play against yourself.
I know.
I wish sometimes you could encounter different aspects of yourself because it would blow your mind.
I know it would, and I would
I feel
hate
like you
myself.
know, but if you actually had to experience it, you'd be like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
this man throws the hardest frisbee of all time."
Yeah, but then you benefit when you're on my team. So,
I don't know if we won. I don't remember.
which time?
Who the fuck knows? That's what I mean. The one time that we were on the same team,
We won.
did we?
Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks.
Proud of you.
Yeah. Because remember, you coached
carried the team.
you coached me through how to throw it, and I got better there.
The flick of the wrist.
You flick of the wrist.
Flick of the wrist. What was I just gonna say?
I was gonna say the word.
No,
okay.
we don't want to hear about your sunburn.
All right.
I'm kidding. Go for it.
So I was in middle school, and it was like, if you did like band all 3 years of middle school, you got to go on like the Six Flags trip. And it was like super discounted, and like all these schools went and everything. And I'd never
all these nerds at Six
nerds,
Flags.
yeah. And I had never been to like Six Flags before in my life, and so like I didn't know what to expect. Like I
Did
didn't
you
know.
meet Foghorn Leghorn?
What
he said about me is lies. We can't even talk about it on here.
He
but
said
he's a
he said
goddamn
some
lie.
things to me that didn't make sense at the time, but then he was like a soothsayer. He was like, "Son, you're gonna meet a boy. Goes by the name of Drama. Real piece of shit. Let me tell you a couple things." And he told me some things that, if I'm gonna be honest, I don't think they've happened yet.
I know,
but
he
like,
told me too.
But when
he gave me dates and timestamps, and I've completely forgotten all of them.
yeah, because you were
But
a
I
child.
know I'm on the cusp of them.
You were a child on a sugar rush from getting all the deep fried foods and sweets at Six Flags all day.
Probably.
And then Foghorn Leghorn was like, "Here's the date and time of your death, son, and here's how it's gonna happen." And you were just like,
Everything's fine now. That's so far away.
And you were like, that
old man came out.
and as the spirit leaves your body, you finally realize. But
right now, you can change your fate.
you can change everything.
If you
son.
were
It can
simply
be
to just do this one simple task of. And then I punched him in the belly.
And then he goes, "Did you get any of that?" And you're like, "Sure thing."
We should go back, and I have to beat the shit out of him.
Foghorn
That's how I
Leghorn.
feel like
You'll win
avenge
because
my
he
death
put
before.
because he put a curse on you.
Of course
Because
he
like
did.
if you put the idea in someone's head, they're gonna think about it until because like what if someone was like, "Hey, this is the day you're gonna die and the time," and so you're anticipating it forever, and then it doesn't happen. What do you do after that?
I gotta
point?
kill that person.
Yeah, you got to go back. But what if they're dead already?
Then the prophecy has been fulfilled.
Interesting. Then the teacher has become the dead one.
You know how it works.
You know how that game is played. But so we went to Six Flags, and I specifically remember, I wore a white wife beater and a button-up Slipknot shirt because
Whoa,
I was
that shouldn't exist.
It did. It was like a blue work shirt. It was like my favorite fucking shirt.
Oh, like
Love
a
that
mechanic.
shirt. Yeah.
That never got its life
But it
together.
had a big old Slipknot design on the back that said like "I am hated." Like
Yeah,
I was-
every mechanic is.
Yeah, I was
You're
tired.
so full of shit.
I was-
Imagine if you went into a mechanic and the guy came out and he was wearing a button-up Slipknot shirt.
I would
I'd be like,
demand
take my
that
car
man.
down.
No, I
and
demand
go.
that man fixes my car.
No, that man doesn't know how to fix a car.
That man can't read, but I can tell you
He's
what
just
he.
punching the engine.
That man might not know how to read, but I'll tell you what he can do. He can hear my car and tell me exactly how many miles on it, what the percentage
Real
of my
grease
oil life
monkey.
is. He's a real grease monkey, and he can pitch dick like a motherfucker.
Oh, that's not true.
No, haven't you ever read that theory that like real dummy that's like good at like one stupid
Oh, yeah,
thing
the real
can,
dummy,
like,
not the
fuck
Slipknot
like
fan.
like the guy that works at like the cereal factory, and he's like, "I'm the guy that makes the red Fruit Loops." Like pitches dick like a monster because he's so stupid, but he's just like doesn't know how to do anything else. He's just an animal, you know?
Yeah,
Same
just like
idea.
us.
Guy that wears a Slipknot shirt to the mechanic's job and like just listens to you pull up, and he's like, "You got 52,643 miles, 28% oil engine life. You need to change your oil filter, and your two front tires need a little bit of air. Backs are just fine." And then he just punches your engine, and everything's fixed.
You
Then he
always
goes-
need an oil filter, but I don't believe
Then
it.
he just kicks the stand, and your car falls down, and then he goes, "But dun 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 dun."
You're like, what is your
He's
line?
like, "We're going to Six Flags, motherfucker," and then it's like a weird mashup of Slipknot and that dun 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 dun.
Is that
dun,
old
dun,
guy
dun, dun,
dead?
dun.
Or was
He
that
has
a
to
real
be.
old person?
I think it was someone in makeup.
I think it was too.
Can we look it up? It was a real old man dancing like
Six
that.
Flags
Whoa.
old man.
Is the Six Flags old man dead or alive?
I'm just gonna say Six Flags old man and see where we go. I hope he has a
I did
Wikipedia.
my dun 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 dun.
Flags.
Psychos thou shalt dun dun
Old
dun.
man.
Just psychos thou shalt dun dun dun.
Oh shit. Danny Thiessen. All right, let's see. Oh, shit. It was a man in makeup.
It was?
Yeah. This is off of the Six Flags wiki.
There's a Six Flags wiki?
Yeah. He was born in 1975.
He's fake.
He is perhaps most well known for portraying Mr. Six in various Six Flags commercials and other promotional material throughout the early to late 2000s.
So did he do the dancing then? Like, was he the actual one dancing?
Yeah, because he does choreography.
Okay.
He's done it for multiple Grammy Award-winning artists such as Carrie Underwood, Kelly Clarkson, and Paula Abdul, who follows us on Twitter still.
Still does. Thanks, Paula. We love you, baby.
She's a big fan.
Huge fan. Always wearing her Dapper Dad shit.
Imagine every artist that he worked with, he was just like, so this is what I'm thinking. Dun, dun, dun. He's just dressed up as an old man. And
like, here's what I'm thinking.
I love it.
You dress up as an old man and you dance around to a techno song. Okay.
I want to know whose idea it was. Oh, here, there's a Wikipedia for Mr. Six.
I did my...
Okay. So who... Yeah. When Dan Snyder took control of Six Flags and installed Mark Shapiro as CEO of the company in 2005, one of their first plans of action was to retire
Mr. Six.
Retire Mr. Six. Well, no, how did he become? Who was the board meeting and was like, we should have an old man that can fucking dance?
I mean, bro, it was the early 2000s. It was a lawless wasteland when it came to movies and advertising. Think about it. We had the Final Destination movies. We had Scream movies. The bad Scream movies.
Six.
We had Mr. Six. Just watch
His quote is, more flags, more fun. Six Flags. What a terrible quote.
I don't ever remember him speaking.
It says, and his bio is, an old man with a knack for fun. Mr. Six is known to ride his bus around the world, putting on a show and inviting kids and their families to the fun of Six Flags.
If that man showed up in front of my house, okay, so just picture
Get
this.
in the bus and come to Six Flags.
Picture this: you're just like out in the yard, like having a good time with your kid. You're barbecuing, you're making a nice
barbecuing my kids.
Let's say you're making a nice barbecue lunch for your kids. You got friends over, they got their kids. Everybody's having a good time at the barbecue. Suddenly, in the distance, here, a bus pulls up.
Louder.
Yeah, it gets louder. A bus pulls up in front of your house, and an old man comes out and points at doesn't look at you, doesn't say anything, just points at your children and is like,
oh, I'd fucking.
It starts dancing. Like, yeah, you would, like, we'd all just be like, we gotta go kick that guy's ass, right?
Did I ever tell the story about the pedophile that like lived kind of near me as a kid, and he approached me when I was taking the trash out one time?
No.
I was like, I don't know, 10 or something. And there was a guy by like in between my house and my elementary school, which were very close to each other. There was a man who you knew was like a pedophile, and he lived with his very old mother, and he would stand out and wave at all the kids going to school every day.
Just love that we allowed that to happen.
Yeah, it sucks super bad.
It sucks.
And then, yeah, one day I was taking the trash out, and he would walk by my house with his old mom, and he came up to me, and he started talking to me, and then I just heard, my dad just running down our gravel driveway, and he put his hand on my chest and pushed me back and was like, you get the fuck away from my kid, and started like losing his mind. Yeah, and he was like, I'll fucking kill you.
You do the same though.
Oh, like, yeah. You think, like that was one of my favorite.
You think, like as a kid it scares you, but like as an adult you're like, maybe he wasn't that wrong.
It was funny then later that shitty McDonald's.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I was there with my ex when I was like 16. And that guy was there with his mom. And yeah, everybody just knew. And then there was like a little girl, and the parent went over to like get food or something, and the guy went up to the little girl and like put his hand on the shoulder, and I jumped up and I was like, get the fuck away from him, and started yelling. And then like the dad came over and was like, what's going on? I was like, this guy is like creepy. I don't want to like yell in front of this girl, but I'm like, don't let this man come near your kids. Yeah. I was like, you get the fuck out of here, which everybody did everywhere. That's what I mean. We like allowed it, but everybody was like, I'm
gonna make a bold statement here. That guy should have just killed himself. Like he should have just killed himself.
He was, it was something super weird, and he was like not well mentally, but it was, I don't know why it was, and he lived 2 blocks away from my elementary school.
Like why did we allow that?
I don't know.
Why did anyone allow that?
Crazy different.
Should have just killed the guy. Somebody should have just killed the guy. Or because I mean, if he wasn't going to kill him, I mean, I think it's fine to kill pedophiles.
Oh yeah,
I think it's fine.
Whoa, hot take. But pedophiles should die.
Yeah, who's going to come on the show and be like, whoa, we can't just kill him.
A pedophile?
Yeah, a pedophile. Be like,
that's our only guess is a pedophile.
No,
he makes a lot of strong points. We're like, this sucks.
God.
I want to make that into a fucking shirt.
Oh,
am I right?
Please, can we get those for Halloween this year?
I almost
missed.
said it as my background.
You should
I
have.
can't fucking save it. I'll just.
Oh, but anyway, so
Yeah.
we went to Six Flags and
We got off on a tangent.
and they were like, you can rent a locker that you want to put your stuff in. So obviously I'm walking around in like 110-degree heat in this like dark blue Slipknot shirt. And I'm like, it's hot. So I take it off and I put it in this locker. And so I'm walking around in the sun for like 9 hours without sunscreen in a white wife beater.
Oh, yeah.
No hat, no sun, anything, just getting burned straight to shit. And so we get back to Byron, and I rode my bike everywhere. And so my bike was at the school, and like on the bus, people were like, "You're sunburned," and I'm like, "It can't be that bad."
That's the craziest part is like there should be a chart for like the time from you were in the sun until finding your sunburn and when people start pointing that out. Because sometimes you'll be like fresh out of the sun and someone's like, "You're sunburned." You're like, "I can't be. It was only 30 minutes ago." And that's when you know it's going to be absolutely devastating.
I was in this. At a certain point in the day, it was like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and someone was like, "Wow, your neck is red."
Yeah,
I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I'm just getting a little sun today." And then so we're going home, and I had the shirt on my back, and it started to rain as I was riding my bike home. But like, of course, you're a kid, you don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, it feels so good," because it was hot all day, and it felt so like bad on my back. Like it just felt like it felt like little sharp bullets on my back, and I'm like,
because someone just shooting a shotgun in the air and it's raining down you.
And
this rain is rough.
I get home and I take my shirt off, and my mom was like, "Oh my god!" I had blisters on my back. I had sun blisters on like my shoulders, and she had to go get those like medicated aloe pads to like put on it. And I still remember like still not taking it seriously. I was like, "Well, this hurts," and my mom's like, "You have like 2nd-degree burns all over your back and neck and shoulders." And I remember I was in the shower, like taking a shower, and I went to go like. I went to go scrub off, and they just all just. And
my god!
Yeah, it was a bad time. It was a really bad time.
I had the first sound set that I ever went to. It used to just be in a big parking lot, and it was so ungodly hot. I got sun blisters on my ears, and I was able to pull basically an ear off and like hold on to, and my nose.
Yeah,
and I'd get them like on my face. I had the guy I used to be friends with, who's like your twin basically.
Yeah.
He came over to a party we were having at Cole's old house one time, and he walked in, and it was horrifying. He was pure red, and he's like a pale guy.
Yeah.
And we were like, what did you do? Like, it looked like he had like covered himself in red makeup, and then it was like a day later, and it had faded a little bit. Like, it was the most burnt I've ever seen a person in real life. And he was like, I was at Magic Waters all day. And I was like, and you just didn't do anything? And he's like, no, I'm never out in the sun. And I was like, this isn't just agony. This isn't just agony to be here. Why are you even here?
Yeah.
If you were like, I'm not going to come because look at me, I'd be like, please don't.
Stay home.
Yeah. I've seen people get less sunburns and be like, oh my God, I'm going to die. Like, he was just like a red. It's like you just took
like
a red
glowing
filter.
red. Like
it
you
was
just cooked a man.
Fucking crazy. And the whole time we're just drinking, and everyone was like, what's up with him? I don't know. You shouldn't be here. And he was like totally fine. I don't know if he was just powering through it or he just doesn't have any feeling in any of his body, but it was
just he burned the nerves in his skin and
it
just
looked
didn't
like
feel
I've
anything.
never seen anyone in real life.
I'm
even
picturing
pictures,
it, and
I've seen on the internet.
I'm picturing it,
like,
and it can't. And I'm like, it's got to be worse than what I'm picturing.
Yeah,
you know,
it looks crazy.
Like I'm picturing just full body red paint, basically. And like I know it's worse than what I'm thinking.
There wasn't. You know how usually, like, my sunburn's just on my back. There's usually, like, you have maybe a little more on your shoulders.
Yeah,
face.
like me. I just got, like, one of my
It was just, like, from what you could see on him, legs. And legs are hard as fuck to sunburn.
Yeah.
You have hair if you're a guy. Like, mine never, my upper thighs get sunburned, but my bottoms of my legs don't. And, yeah, everything you could see was just pure red. Like, I don't know what to do for you.
Right. Like, I'm so
feel
sorry,
like
bro.
I should put you down. Because if this doesn't hurt now, it's gonna, like, I don't know how you're going to sleep. That's the thing I always say. Is when it's on a part of you and you're trying to go to sleep and you're like, ah.
Well, because I remember I was a kid and there was this, I was super young, and I remember I was on the bus and there was these, it was like 3 kids in this family we would pick up, and I was friends with the, like, middle kid because he was, like, a grade above or below me or something. And he was wasn't there for like a week one time, and like I was like, oh, I hope my buddy's okay. And then he came back
Died
and, like,
from sunburn.
well, he was so red when he came back. I was like, are you okay? And apparently he got sunburned so bad, just like out like on a boat or something like that with his grandparents or something. He like got sun poisoning and had to like sleep in front of an air conditioner in like a dark room, and like just had to do that. He's like, if I didn't have that, he was like, yeah, the doctor said if I didn't stay in a cold room, I probably would have died. And I was like,
it can get super bad. That's what, another time we went to Sunset, my one buddy didn't put any sunscreen on. I did for once because I had learned. And then, it was one of those things where, like, as we were leaving, we were like, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And he had just, like, a tank top and shorts on. And then we went to the after party back when it was good, and he was in the back seat, and just the look in his face was just that, like, defeated, sad look. And I was like, are you going to be okay? And he was like, I don't think I could be. And we got to the after party, and he was just standing in the corner shaking. He's like, I'm so hot and then cold, so cold. And we were like, all right, well, we're gonna drink until we die. Sorry, but this is what you signed up for. And then he came to pick me up from my house like a week later, and he was looking the other way, and he turned to me, and he had the biggest sun blister on his lip, and it looked like bad herpes, just a huge one. And I went, whoa, because he had like turned to me to talk to me, and he goes like, no, it looks like herpes, doesn't it? And I was like, yeah, it looks more like herpes than herpes looks like herpes.
Actual herpes, you're like, oh, nice cold sore. But that, you're like, oh my God, you fucking freak. What hooker did you eat out?
It looked like he was growing a new face out of his lip.
He was growing another face on his face.
And he's like, it hurts so bad.
Yeah, it hurts growing a quado on your face.
But anyway, the cabin. I would like to talk about the fun thing that I did, but I think I'd like your perspective on it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, of course I do. How could I forget?
Did you forget about it?
I tried to, but God won't let me forget.
I tried to burn them, but they won't burn.
Yeah, that's because they are so waterlogged with river water. So we
well, actually, let's talk about the first river night, because that's a beautiful
good
time.
Night. Yeah. So per tradition, if you're a fan of the show, if you're new to the cabin tradition,
I'm sure people are like, another cabin episode. I will be skipping this one.
Just fast. Can't
wait to hear about this.
Drinking and in the river, beer darts and beers,
drinking and in the river.
Drinking and grilling and sun and drinking and river and drinking sun beer river dick come naked fun drink yell spit smoke.
I guess it sums it up.
Yeah. I mean, do we really have to talk about
a bunch of words?
Yeah. Why say many word when few do trick?
But yeah, the first night.
So first night we tradition. We get there. We pop on down to the river to check it out. We come back. Hang out for a little bit. Go to
underwear.
Started a new tradition this year.
Yeah,
some would say.
Not tradition.
So we'll see what happens next year. It's always year 4. Year 4 is coming up. Maybe, yeah. We don't know. Maybe it's
gotten my deposit back.
3 and we're out. Yeah.
I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah. Didn't you not get the deposit back till like a long time last year too?
No, I looked and it was a week, which would have been this weekend, and then I looked and now it says it will automatically be refunded by August 16th if there's not a complaint, which is another week from today. And I just hate the waiting. Because I'm always
you get that nervous because you're like, did we do something and we forgot about it? Or like, was there something that we left on accident?
Because I'm sure there's something that, but then it's never happened. I don't know. Anyway.
But so we traditionally, then we come back, eat, and then like we get a little antsy, and then we're like, hey, what's that river doing tonight?
Yeah.
Let's go check that out.
Late night river once it's technically closed.
Once it's technically closed, so no one will bug us. And we learned to not play the music too loud, not to be yelling and stuff like that when you're down there. Be a little less suspicious.
We say this, but I don't know if we've learned.
There was also no big fun toys for us to play with this year.
Right, which is good.
Which is good. There wasn't a lot of temptation.
Yeah, they shouldn't do that to us.
So you know, you got to have your beer. You got to hop on the river. Nando's, of course, and then we always traditionally, which did we start it last year?
Last year. I started it last year because I was just like, I want to be naked in this water.
So suits came off and just the dad swimming naked in the Mississippi River. And there is no more powerful feeling.
No, and the move is to throw.
That's the move. Because last year, we hung on to them.
You held on to your trunks, which was good when the man approached us. This year I was like, I'm throwing them. You don't have to be with me, but I know I hate holding on to things.
Yeah.
Then it was true freedom. except when I had to go get cigarettes. And Leonard, your lighter would not work. The only time ever was when I'm standing butt naked on the edge of the beach trying to light two
With your
cigarettes.
asshole and balls exposed
Yeah,
like an
you guys
absolute freak show.
You guys were shining the lights at
Because you
me.
deserved it.
Well, that wasn't fair.
Yeah,
The
well,
lighter
you
wouldn't
would have
work.
done the same damn thing to me. And
I don't have a light.
Yeah, if you had one, you would have.
No, I would have guided your way. Because then I went to turn around, and I knew in my head, I finally get the fucking cigarettes lit, and I turn around, and luckily I grabbed my dick and balls, because I knew someone was going to do it.
It was sexy.
And yeah, so I'm holding two cigarettes, drunk and naked, cupping my dick and balls with
Real
one hand,
sexy.
running back into
I
the
liked
water.
it. You got
shouldn't have.
good form. I like it.
Oh, I don't know about that. That's
I
gotta
see.
be the worst.
I
Poorly
don't-
lit at the beach.
Listen,
drunk,
maybe
sopping
it was
wet.
like maybe it was the 19 beers at that point,
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
like the
say,
grilled burgers
If
and
you
all
guys
the.
have to see me naked, I'd like it to be on my terms and
I get that.
presented in the
I
best
get that,
way.
but for what
Not
I saw,
jiggling towards the people.
I'm just saying, for what I saw, I wasn't disappointed.
It's fine.
I wasn't
I'm
mad.
glad I covered my cock and balls.
I'm not saying you shouldn't have, but what I'm saying is the way you had it, like the rest of the body, I could see with just the hand covering the bits I didn't want to see right away. I was like, I like this. I see what the ladies like.
Yeah, there wasn't enough hands, am I right?
It should have been.
Bulging out
I
of
think there was
everything.
too many
You're
hands,
like-
if you know what I mean.
You're like, what is it? There's just
Too many fingers.
It's like a man grabbing a hand.
You're like gripping your shit. You're just like pinching
I'm
it.
making my balls do that huge
Not
thing,
even that. You are
just
hurting
shaking
your
it
balls
in.
like you were squeezing them to the point where your body's like, please stop.
People can't look at me naked unless I'm in pain.
No,
it's
you're
my
not
thing.
supposed to be able to choke yourself out or squeeze your nuts this hard. I don't care.
And then they left us.
They did leave us. That fucking sucked. And then they justified it. They're like, oh, Slim had a light. And it's like, what if I had a heart attack and fell in the river?
And then at the same time, we both went, what if he had a heart attack? And
I'm
it's
glad
so
we
hard
think
to
of it.
Find your way back.
It is, because you're looking along the beach and then suddenly you hear a man go, hey, want to buy a wristwatch? And you're like, what is happening?
You should have asked me when I was naked.
Should ask me when I was naked and had no
I'm more
money on
susceptible
me.
to everything. I got sand in my asshole from finally sitting on the beach
We
because
did.
I was
I
tired.
had sand. I don't think my ass has been right since getting the sand in my asshole.
No, it makes it rougher.
It
You know
does.
what I mean? I had a real soft, quaint
found
little
a-
butthole. Now
I
I got
found
a
a-
big, sandy, gaping asshole.
Wow, that's
I
something.
went from butthole to asshole.
something you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy, a big gaping sandy asshole.
No, I mean, maybe I would.
Maybe a sandy ass. It's not the worst.
I
thing
hope
that could
my worst
happen.
enemy has a sandy asshole out of nowhere. Imagine you're
just
just
wake up
at the
one
office
morning.
and you stand up and sand falls out of
It's
your
like the
asshole.
mummy where the sand is coming out of the keyhole and suddenly it turns into the mummy. All the sand comes out of your asshole and it turns into coal with the bush light down at the river. And you're like, stop.
It's like glitter. How you have a little bit of glitter and then there's just glitter forever, but it's sand out of your asshole.
You come home and your wife's like, what's all this sand, huh? What's her name?
I don't know what's her name. What is it? A mermaid?
Yeah, she's insecure about everything.
I made a sand woman. And
Oh,
I
bringing
fucked her.
your work home, huh? What's her name? Oh, brought home pizza for everybody, huh? What's her name?
She works at Papa John's and I love her.
Listen, I love my wife. She's a very insecure woman. We had an incident. It turns out the incident was like he had a sister, and like now he
Which
can't
is
even talk to
always
his.
wrong.
Which is so wrong. You should not have any other woman in your life except your spouse. Once you find your
Female
spouse,
coworker, huh?
female coworker,
Female
huh?
boss.
What's her name?
She doesn't have one.
She doesn't have one. She said her mother hated her the second she came out of her and didn't give her a legal name.
Well, her mother was smart.
Well, her mother was smart because she doesn't have a name. So what's her name? I guess on the
don't
birth
know.
certificate it just says Jane Doe because that's what they usually give babies that don't have names.
Oh, why don't you go fuck Jane Doe? I don't know who
I
it
don't know
is.
who that could be.
There's
any
so
woman.
many.
There's so many Jane Does. What do you do about it? So many Jane and John Does. Why don't they all get married? Why are all these married couples dying? Why are they all called John and Jane? Have you ever thought about that conspiracy? Why are
Jane
all the
and John
John and
Doe?
Jane Does separated and then they die? You know, people talk about how like the Smith is the most common last name of the United States. What about Doe?
We've broken
I
something.
think John and Jane might be the most common names in the United
you,
States,
like,
with Doe being the
also-
last name. John Doe, Jane Doe.
How do you choose that?
I don't know.
Or do you not think it's going to be one of the biggest things in the world, name-wise? You know what I mean?
I think this
Just call him John Doe.
I mean,
what about the woman? Jane.
What would you then? What's a better name system that you could come up with for unidentifiable bodies?
Ricky Ricardo.
But there's a man named Ricky Ricardo. I don't think there's a man named
Well,
John
we
Doe.
all know there's one
Yeah, but
he's the alive one.
So
All
what-
the other
so-
a fun name. I don't want to find John Doe. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
It's
but
gotta
then
be
you're like, oh,
captivating.
but then every
Mr.
headline,
Six.
yeah, it's gonna fuck up everything though, because they're gonna be like Ricky Ricardo found dead on the side of the highway, and everyone's like, oh my god! And for the billionth time,
he's just like,
his manager has to be like, Mr. Ricardo is alive and well.
eventually he'll kill himself to just finish it. I don't
Then
want that.
but then everyone's like, Ricky Ricardo found dead, and they're like, who is it? Who could it be?
All right, I was spitballing, but something fun.
Well, I'm saying it's fun.
I don't want to
but
find John
That's
Doe.
the
I want
problem
to
with
find
us.
Ricky Ricardo's
This is how
bloated
challenges
corpse.
start on the show: is we think of something fun, but then we don't think of the consequences of it.
No, that's just our life.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's what we do with everything.
Anyway, cabin.
Day
2. We thought we drank
fell
100
asleep.
beers.
We woke up thinking I woke up on time for once.
You did. Yeah, congrats. I was
Thank
proud of you.
Woke up, had a cup of coffee with you out on the balcony. It was
Yeah,
nice.
we said some terrible things about a man, his son, and a tricycle.
We all said terrible things at the cabin that we can't take back.
Well, yeah, but you were really 8 a.m. bad things are the worst.
Though,
bad
yeah,
things.
starting off the day
How you
like
know
that.
you're an angry person.
That's how you know you're a monster deep inside. Is because you wake up with those thoughts.
Yeah.
That's like your default when you're not with it, and that's the shit coming out of my mouth.
Yeah,
Like God,
that's
but
what
then
I mean.
but then you're the ones in there laughing at it and agreeing with me and retorting back. So it's like, which one of us is better or worse? Are we the same
have
type
ideas.
of shit? Oh, we both have ideas, but I
theories.
think we think the same thing, just on the opposite playbook. If you know what I mean.
You were up so early, it scared me. I thought you were going to come out and be like, something is wrong. I found Cole's dead body.
Yeah, I mean that
Like,
wouldn't
yeah,
have
of
surprised me.
course.
Yeah,
That's
dull.
fine.
Yeah, dull. We find it every
I
morning.
found Matt's dead body. What? No! Not the good one.
Not the good one. We find Cole's dead body.
I found out that we drunk 100 beers last night. I'm like,
Killed
there
Matt.
wasn't enough time.
Yeah.
There's not enough time
to drink 100. Because
Let's take 45 minutes out of our morning to get to the bottom of this very solvable, simple thing that totally didn't happen at all.
Yeah, we definitely just didn't know how to
100 beers.
What the fuck?
And I
were we
love
thinking?
that I personally was like, I don't care that we drank 100 beers. That's perfectly fine with me. My fear is if we drank 100 beers in 7-8 hours,
Like, what are we gonna do today?
and we have 66 beers left, I don't think the math adds up.
Yeah, no.
We're gonna need more beers. I don't want to have to leave here and get more beers, but I never want to get to the point where we're out of beers. It's
Yeah.
my biggest fear.
I mean, we didn't run out of beers technically.
Yeah, we didn't. We didn't go as. We didn't make it a point to drink all of the beers.
I was gonna say I think we went respectably hard this year. I will say
agree.
that about I will say this was probably the best year yet, just in terms of like consistency. You know,
I disagree.
in what
but-
way?
I think last year was the best year. Maybe because it was so ridiculous.
Yeah, last
like
year.
the 5:30 a.m. Because it's one of those things. In retrospect, it's a funny story. I know the unpleasantry of it. In the moment, it was not fun at all.
But yeah, but looking
But
back, it's fun
it's like
to talk
a fun
about.
story.
Yeah.
And like you're like, oh, I stayed up on Sunday about some beers. And yeah, I wouldn't want to do it again. It's one
No,
of those
but it's one of
things.
those things where like we're old
One
and
and
like
done.
it's one of those things where
Yeah.
we're like old and all hanging out someday. Like, remember when we stayed up till the sun up and wouldn't stop talking about the time and
Ah, God,
we
damn
ate
it.
that garlic
Everybody
bread.
still did that.
Yeah.
But then yeah, so we had a nice, quaint balcony morning with coffee and people on the beach doing heroin.
And it was awful. Then a train came by and ran over a man trying to save his son.
Yeah, and then the train
fucked
almost
up.
came to our cabin and would have perfectly run over Matt. Not run over, just floated
just
above him.
exploded him, we fear.
I think it would have went perfectly over him. You think he would have exploded? There's only one way to know.
Find out.
Like it would have went
Send a train.
the ground. Imagine laying in your bed and a train just blows over you but doesn't kill you. It's just like the loudest
Do you get
thing that you could ever
do you get
hear.
PTSD from that?
No, you're perfectly fine.
Yeah, he just
You
sits
never
up.
sleep again.
He
I
just
think.
sits up, looks around, like
Wipes his forehead. That was a
wipes his
close
forehead,
one.
cracks open a beer,
Yeah.
and just drinks it.
Get this man a beer. That train took
Get
forever.
this man a beer. That was a 946 car train that just went through.
It's like in the
above his head.
movies when like the criminal lays under the train and it's perfect, and,
it's
you're
for-
like, I don't know if this is right.
That would scare me so much because like I would feel like I would constantly try to get flatter and flatter because I feel like you would feel things like
You
go
sneeze
past your-
and it rips your fucking face off.
like
That's what I would do. And I would I would hate that people didn't, like, people would be like, dumbass laid under the train and immediately got fucking obliterated. But I want to be like, no, I was halfway through the train and it tickled my nose and sneezed my forehead forward and the fucker just
think about how
ripped my
instant death.
off.
Instant death.
Like, what we all hope for is that we sneeze in a train,
like,
blows our face.
Because that would be my fear, is like laying down, because like you got like angle, like you can't lay like that, because like then you're like you cheer and then boom,
it just lightly takes your nose off. You're like, could have been worse.
Oh, it just shaves the front of your nose
You have
off.
to sneeze and you hold it to the last car, and right before it's over, you sneeze and it just clips you. I was so close. I don't want to die.
Didn't
without
Alanis
people knowing how
Morissette have a
close I
song
was.
about that?
Isn't it ironic?
Isn't it ironic? You laid under the train tracks like because you're a criminal, and you held in that sneeze till the last car, and then it took your forehead off.
Or it's like when you play hide and seek, and as soon as you get a good hiding spot, you have to pee. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where like, I only have to feel like this because I'm doing this thing that I can't like move around about.
Yeah.
I pee my pants under the train. No one lets it go when I'm like, I laid under a train.
I think if I'm laying under a train like that, and there's that, because that's a point where you're like 99.9% death probability. I'm just pissing and shit. Like,
oh yeah, I was
I'm just letting it go.
Squirting and farting.
Squirting and farting.
I spit up. It spit back.
I spit up, and I watched it fly down the train track, and
I barfed and it.
I barfed, and the train took it with it, and my brain said that could be your brains if you're not careful. I'm like, why are you telling me that, brain? So that's not us later, dumbass.
Didn't get hit by the train, but choked on his puke and died.
Wow, that's
under the train.
Bon Scotted under a moving train. How many people can say that?
Just Bon Scott.
But he did it in a car bed. Tour bus?
Car bed?
Car bed bus?
Yeah, I think a tour
car
bus.
bed tour bed bus?
Didn't a lot of people do it? Wasn't that like the way to go?
Puking in a car bed tour bus.
That didn't work at all.
Puking in a car bed tour bus. Puking in a car bed tour bus.
Right,
Bon Scott.
So we figured out the beer problem.
Yeah, so we figured out the beer problem. Then
just get
died,
to the beach.
Got to the beach, and at this point we're all just like normal beach day, looking for things, not seeing anything weird. Trying to find a nice secluded spot on the beach.
Because
nothing
totally normal,
nothing weird. We didn't bring a bunch of floaties looking like assholes walking down to the beach. We brought
a bunch of beers,
brought a respectable amount of stuff.
Yeah,
we were. I will say it once again, always disrespectfully loud and inappropriate, no matter where we are.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
So it was more packed than we wanted.
More packed than we wanted. Not crazy.
I think we got a good spot.
We got a good spot where we were away from
I would have been
everybody.
totally fine with it had not what is about to be explained been
happens. And then we all go to get in the river, and Mr. Drama, sitting here across from me, drops trow and goes, all right, here it is, and reveals the sexiest American flag Speedo that you have ever seen in your entire life. And in my current state, like, okay, I didn't get enough sleep. I was a little dehydrated. I was in the sun, and I didn't have my glasses on. And there was just something about it that was so taking at first. I don't know another way to put it. Like, you just see, because like you've seen men in Speedos before, and you're just kind of like, holy shit, okay. But then like you just kind of try not look at it. But when it's one of your best friends and he just drops trout and is just there, and
it's powerful.
It's
a power move.
I wasn't even like, I don't even think it was funny at first. I was like, this is powerful. Like, my brain just said like, what a boss move. Because like, wouldn't catch me. I don't, and I mentioned this afterwards. I don't have the confidence in myself to do that.
I barely did.
But you did it. It's the point. Like, you did it, and it happened. And the pictures, oh my god! Well, I can't wait to get the Google Drive of that, or the Dropbox in the high quality, because my god, I want to zoom in on that and just screenshot it and see what we can see.
Yeah, the funniest thing about this is I got it off Amazon, $10. I got the first one in a large, which I feel like made sense. Put it on. Front was perfect. The back was like making my ass look very pathetic. It was just eating it. Yeah, it was like. I was not happy with the result. So I went extra large, and then it's the one, and I was like, this works. This makes more sense.
And I'm going to be honest with you, it accentuated the hell out of your package.
I know.
Like, it's incredible how much. It's like you, because like.
It accentuated my ass. That was all me.
It accentuated a lot of things. But I mean, like, it's just incredible, because you think about it and you're like, yeah, everything is bunched up in there. But you don't think about it until you see your buddy's shit and it's kind of next to your face when he's dancing on a cooler. And you're like, wow, every bit of that man is only separated between me and a thin piece of American flag fabric, and it is wiggling next to my face, like 3 feet away from my face. Wow.
Well, that's what was funny when I put it on to try it on. It feels so wrong to do it.
It should.
And then I was like, "This is fine."
I don't know how you had
Whatever.
it under your shorts and you were like walking in it comfortably. Like that's what feels crazy.
It's not that bad. It just feels weird at first, but then
I
you
feel like it
kinda
would be
get-
restrictive too. Like because like I
It's
feel
not
like
that bad. When I went to the XL, it was much better. But yeah, the funny thing was I put it on. I'd had this plan for a bit, and then the morning of, I didn't think about it for a while, and we were playing beer darts, and then it suddenly hit me. I think someone was like, "We should go to the beach soon," and I was like, "Oh fuck!" And it was one of those things where I was like, "I might not do it, and I'll just never
yeah.
say I have." You know what I mean? I'll just never tell them. And I was like, "Oh, but I bought 2, and like."
You went through the
It
trouble.
would be funny. And it won't matter after a certain point, because like I can just get in the water, and I mean, no one's gonna be like, arrest that guy.
They should,
but they won't.
They should.
And then yeah, I kept like putting it off, and then I was getting a little bit more.
Someone
drunk.
should have come up to you and been like, no,
Yeah.
no, and like smacked
Someone
you.
should have shot me.
Someone should have just smacked you with like a tool until like you got out of the water and went back to the cabin and
Put
changed.
my shorts on.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Even
then-
then, knowing that you had it on, they should have shooed you off the beach.
Yeah. Then when I went and put it on and put my shorts on over it, I was like, all right, you're about to do this. And that was funny because when we were walking up, because you guys were all like, oh, we could see the people, and everyone was like, oh, this is gonna suck. And then I was like, oh, God, this is going to fucking suck so bad. And Cole heard me, and he was like, what the fuck? Like, it'll be fine. There's people. And I was like, it's not the people. And he's like, what is it? And I was like, you'll see when we get there. And then, yeah, he was the funniest because, yeah, I dropped him, and he was already in the water, and just the look on his face and the giggling that did not stop. Like, even when we're in the water, he's like, I can't fucking believe this.
Yeah, it was. It is one of those things. I didn't believe it at first. I was like,
I also didn't believe it.
I thought I was tripping already, and I was like, oh, please tell me I'm seeing this.
Yeah, it was.
But then it turned out it was very real. It was about as real as it gets.
Yeah.
And so we spent what felt like always forever
6 hours.
6 hours drinking a lot of
All the
beers,
beers.
all the beers, and
Yelling.
and wanting to smoke cigarettes but not being able to because there's a bunch of people that came.
Well, I don't care about the people. It's just hard to do. And I didn't want to get out and bend over. Was
That's
my
the
big
thing,
thing.
yeah.
If I could stand firmly, I'm fine with it.
So
I
we
accept
were
it.
done there for what, 2 hours? Maybe?
Yeah, I think just 2 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels like forever. We learned a lot about a lot of people.
We learned a lot about
We said a lot of
people.
things that cannot be repeated.
Yeah, said a lot of things that
Scared families.
We'll say it once, and we'll say it till we die. What happens in the river stays in the river.
Yeah, that's the only place you can be truly free.
Yeah, and have
Whether naked or in American flag Speedo.
And you gotta sit there and watch your buddy just yell about something he should absolutely not be yelling about with people nearby.
Yeah. But then we brought it back in the traditional porch.
Which best
Party.
porch of all the years?
Oh, yeah, for
I want to
sure.
say that was the best porch, because you're drying off, you're fucked up, playing VTL and 216s.
Yeah, that's when I got on the cooler and was thrusting my American flag package at
that's
passerbys.
What was playing when Cole died? Skinny.
I
Played
think
Skinny,
so.
and
Oh,
we just
yeah.
started throwing everything, and then he bit a
Bit a
beer,
beer.
and shotgunned it, ripped his finger open, puked.
Rubbed blood all over.
Is
his
that when we
face.
lost him?
I think for sure.
That's when we lost him,
Yeah,
yeah.
1,000%. Yeah, you could tell that look on his face, like the picture Matt took,
Yeah,
where you're like, oh, that's gonna look really badass. Like the one from last year where he's bleeding from the face, and
Yeah.
he's like, you're like, that's beautiful. This one, you're just like, oh, that poor man.
yeah. You're like,
shouldn't,
he shouldn't have done that.
he shouldn't exist like this.
Poor fella.
Or the picture where he's, because we have the traditional, I guess just fillet dance is to pull the waistband of your pants out and motion that you're pouring a little bit of whatever you're drinking into your pants.
Usually
Occasionally,
pretend.
you pour it in there. I've seen Cole do it more.
I've seen
often
Cole
than
pour a whole beer down his
yeah,
pants. Yeah,
it gets rowdy. So then I had forgotten about that dance, and then Cole did it, and then there's a beautiful picture of it that none of you listeners will see.
No,
but
it's
Cole
so
just
good.
grabbed the waistband of my Speedo and basically just pulled everything out and poured cold Nando's into
On
it.
your
And
dick.
it was so cold. And yeah, so there's the perfect
The look
picture.
on the perfect picture of you when
Just
it
letting
had to
it
be
happen.
the Nando's hit your dick.
Yeah, and it's me grabbing it. 'Cause
Yeah.
It was, I don't know
So cold.
another time in my life that such a cold feeling has washed over my dick and balls. But yeah, that's one of those pictures where I'm like, I could show this to some people. The one with Cole just pulling my Speedo out and pouring something into it. Because at first he like tugged him, and I'm like, don't just pull it all out.
Yeah, you don't.
This is maybe worse than seeing me silhouetted at the beach naked. Is you just pulling my cock and balls out at 3 PM on the porch,
dumping gold nandos.
Yeah, as we listen to our favorite song. Now all I can think of during 216s is when Cole revealed my body.
And violated you with nandos.
Yeah. He sexually assaulted me, we can all say.
And we have it on film.
Yeah.
And we are going to press charges as the Dapper Dads.
Yeah, I wanna just print out those two photos
one
and give
young
them to
Kurt.
Cole. One
with
big
an affidavit we've written up.
Yes, we're big on affidavits now. They just make a lot of sense.
They just make sense to our brand and what we
Once
do here
we
on
learned.
the show. Once we learned the
Exhibit
word.
A, it's the picture of me.
Exhibit A, and then me looking disgusting and fat with my shirt off and just shocked at how cold that has to be.
Yeah,
because you made like a noise too. You were like, cool.
Yeah, because I didn't.
Because in your defense, there's nothing else you can do when something that cold hits your dick and balls.
It also didn't process to me that it was going to be that cold. I was also very hot temperature wise. And I didn't know if he was actually, and because it was like a huge pour too, you know. What I mean?
At one point we were just sizzling in the sun, and we did that thing where we were all just like, it's so hot. I dunked my head in the ice in the cooler. That felt that was the best sensation ever. Like, because my body.
Imagine it on your dick and balls.
I wish I had. I should have, because like, man, it was like so cold and shocking, but it felt like so right.
See, I don't like that, and I knew my back was burnt, and I was trying to keep things away.
I think that's when my shoulder burnt. Was when we were on the porch like that.
Probably. That seemed like a long time, too. Everything just seems like a long time.
Yeah, and then we found out it was 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, people love telling the fucking time.
It was just so
freaks
early.
Me out. And then, the general shenanigans. I think the only other noteworthy thing was the end of the night.
The end of the night when we all got to, it was the end of the night, you know, we all started realizing that, you know, morning's coming, gotta keep drinking, it's all over, might as well get through some sad songs, have some cigarettes and beers. We're pretty drunk. We've been drinking for 17 hours at this point, you know, it's been a while. We've put away some beers, and we're singing pretty damn loud. I know we all had a beautiful sing-along to Landslide. I just want to say that. And,
well, that's the funniest thing. So it's the sad songs, and I specifically remember leading up to this, like Landslide, Drops of Jupiter,
Dead Roses,
and Dead Flowers was last one. And then, so I'm sitting there on the porch, and out of the corner of my eye, there's stairs right there. It's like hard to explain. Out of the corner of my eye, I see a baseball cap just approaching, and it scared the living shit out of me.
I had my back to the house, and I just saw it come around the front of the house. Well, because I think I saw it first, but
Probably.
I didn't process it because I saw the bob of it, and I was like,
he was just skipping over.
Yeah.
Gonna tell these queers to turn their music down. Seems like the energy he brought.
Yeah, that.
Which, so a man approaches and he's like,
at 2:30 in the morning. We just want to say that.
I thought it was 1:30.
Yeah, actually, it was 1:30 because he made the point of saying that it was 3 when we knew it absolutely wasn't 3.
Yeah, so he comes up and he's like, "Hey, you guys think you could turn the music down? You woke me up out of my sleep." Well, he says, "Do you think you could turn the music down?" We're like, "Oh yeah, for sure." And then he goes, "You woke me up out of my sleep," and we're like, "Okay." And he's like, "It's like 3 a.m. And you could tell that he had that whole walk. He'd prepared these arguments, thinking we were going to retort. And then when we didn't,
we're just kind of like,
"I have these points to make, though. I've thought of these."
I know,
points.
yeah. And because there was a piece of me that in the moment was like, "Is this guy going to yell, and then we're all going to get scared, and then not fight, but then talk about later?"
Oh, I feel like I would have fought him if he started yelling.
Because he was like,
because I also would have been like, "You're yelling. What an asshole."
Yeah, because then he's
it's too loud out here. I'm going to yell at.
Because then he's like, "Yeah, you guys woke me up out of my house." He just kept going, and I was like,
"That's what I mean." I think he had, when you're mad and you're like, "Here's all the things I'm going to say," and you expect someone.
I get that, yeah.
Because I feel like he was probably surprised that we were like, "Oh, okay." Or I just
Sorry.
didn't. No. And the craziest thing is there's one building directly across from the cabin, and it is a ranger station, which is
not a house.
Insane that is even close. And we've been up till 5:30 in the morning screaming,
yelling, and yelling.
And then you can camp in the distance somewhere that we don't even see.
Yeah.
So, like I was saying, if you are in the ranger station, you would come over with the authority because that will for sure shut shit down.
Right,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? If this
Because
comes over
even
and he's
if you're
like,
off
I'm in the
duty.
ranger station, I would be like, yeah, we for sure gotta. If it's just some dude, I'm gonna be like, as soon as you leave, I won't go all the way back up, but I'm not gonna let it be this low. This
Right,
low is
yeah.
for you to understand that we hear you, and then once you leave, I'm gonna peak it back up
Bump
a bit,
it a little
and we'll
bit.
probably stop screaming. Because when you remind me that Drops of Jupiter had happened, because I was like, okay, like Landslide, you're not singing to Landslide, like you're not screaming. Dead Flowers, you're not screaming. Drops of Jupiter, that's exactly what I was like. Oh yeah, you maybe could have woke a man up out of his sleep screaming Drops of Jupiter.
No, yeah, I think if anything in Drops of Jupiter woke someone up, it was all of us at the end going, nah, nah,
Yeah.
nah, nah.
Yeah, when you said that later, I was like, oh, okay, that's the song. Because there's always like, that's what I mean. There's songs where like, if we're just singing and the music is loud, I can't believe that we woke you up.
Right, yeah.
And I know when we know that we're loud, we're louder. I understand that.
As a group
but
of
loud
4
enough
men,
to
yeah.
wake a man up out of sleep. And my question is,
Where
did
was
we
the
wake
house?
him up? Yeah, 1,000% that, because it couldn't have been the ranger station. And there's literally just nothing except for so far away that you could not be woken up.
Yeah.
And also, we can't be the loudest people. Also, we've been louder versions before.
Yeah.
Till 5:30 in the morning.
The point I make is
Screaming.
I remember on the first year it's that song with Designer on it that I throw on the playlist. It's like Designer and Muramasa or something. And at the end it's like that ooh wow. I like yelled that as loud as I could the first year, and I heard it echo over the river from where we were. So it's like,
or like
we've
Mobamba,
been
when
louder.
me and Cole are like, fuck, shit.
Bitch, like there's no
Or
way.
even just the howling during self-control. Like I can think of so many things
where
and
we've been loud and ridiculous, and someone should have been like, if there was someone adjacent to us, they would have heard that and been like, oh my god.
Or that's what I mean. If it is the ranger station, they've just never. And yeah, I feel like there's got to be other loud people. Like if your house is there, you have to be somewhat accustomed to it. And my biggest point, possibly, is that the loudest train I've ever heard in my life comes by here at 5 a.m.
Every day.
So you have to, if you live here, you have to be able to sleep through that. And I have to say that men screaming at the top of their lungs to songs isn't going to wake you up.
Here's
if you
what
sleep through a train on a regular basis.
Here's what else was crazy. That man was like fully dressed. He wasn't in like
know he even
comfy
put a
clothes
hat
either.
on.
He had a hat, jeans, and a shirt on.
I know.
Which is like, what dude is sleeping in his jeans, hat, and shirt unless he's A, sleeping in the bushes, or B, a river rat sleeping in a tent?
Yeah, I could
Who didn't
see-
bring a change of clothes and was swimming in his underwear.
Yeah, but that's what I wonder is if we woke him up and then he like laid in bed and just kept hearing like pieces of it. And I also think maybe it was the music where he's like, these motherfuckers are singing Drops of Jupiter and Landslide. Like, I have to go shut this down.
Like, this is bad. At least sing something good.
Yeah.
What I think it was is because he seemed just like a normal ass dude.
Yeah.
You know? And like, it was a Saturday night going into Sunday. There's no way that guy's waking up and going to church, especially not in the current state of the world.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's like, I'm thinking the guy was either camping or like, even if he does live close to there, I think it was probably like his like missus or like his girlfriend or something was like,
Maybe.
go shut those guys up. I can't sleep, meh. Because if it was us, and I know this, if it was us and we were somewhere and we just heard guys like yelling and singing songs, we'd be like, yeah, that kind of sucks, but like,
Yeah.
we've done it. So
Yeah.
like, I can't go up to those guys and be like, hey, turn this racket down. You know,
I would
I'm trying to
never have
sleep.
the balls.
That
What if we would have just killed that guy?
yeah, he didn't know us. What if we had guns?
If I would have been like, I'll turn
What
this
if we're
down.
just
and I
sitting out on the
stabbed
porch?
him in the stomach.
We're just sitting out there with guns and just waving them around, singing "Drops of Jupiter," and someone comes up.
Back in the atmosphere. Get the fuck on the ground.
Now that she's back in the atmosphere, get your ass on the ground and give me your wallet.
Yeah.
So tell me, is your house really close to here?
Yeah, that's the thing. If he's in a tent and he said my house, then fuck
you,
How
first of
dare
all.
you pretend your tent is a house?
Is your house really close to here? I looked on Google Maps and the only house here's the ranger station. So tell me, who the fuck do you think you are?
Now we got to go back and find that guy.
Oh yeah, no, we got to go back next year. Sing Drops of Jupiter,
The exact same
super
time.
loud, over and over again all night until he comes up and he's like, "These guys again," and then he's the one that brings a gun, and we're like, "Oh God, we didn't bring the guns this year. Fuck."
Joke's on you. And I pull out a gun.
Joke's on you. You pull out an M16 and you're just holding it.
Let's fucking do this.
Let's fucking do this. Drops of Jupiter in her hair.
Just shooting into the sky.
Just bullets falling everywhere.
Matt's just inside eating as gunfire rings out.
watching Jerry Springer eating his hamburger hash, and he's just in there having a nice quiet time, and you, me, and Cole are all saying, "You're gonna fucking die! You're gonna fucking die! So tell me, how's it feel to fucking die?"
Oh yeah, the Ranger's gonna come over now. I bite a grenade, throw it
at the Ranger
I bite
station.
a grenade and it explodes. I don't bite the pin out. I just fucking
Just your
bite
tongue
a grenade.
flailing around everywhere. Another guy comes up. "You guys are waking me up. It's 3 a.m. and you won't stop
This
shooting
makes
guns."
sense. Yeah, gunfire and grenades. I understand that. I can't turn
While
them
Drops
down,
of
though.
Jupiter is playing in the background. Nah.
Yeah. He's like, you guys are so fucking loud with Drops of Jupiter. I'm like, the gun sounds? He's like, Drops of Jupiter. You're like, are you sure?
Would you enjoy a nice solo right now?
10-hour loop of the nanas.
Did you finally get the chance to dance?
Because I feel like I could understand, like, hearing a bunch of drunk men yelling, screaming, and singing along. I'd be like, yeah, whatever, we do it. But there could be a point where a certain song would be like, no, not this, not Drops of Jupiter right now. You know what I mean?
Not
like,
Rap God at 3 a.m.
Snaps your. Oh yeah, if it's that, then I'll pull up with a gun, of course. But yeah, even like a favorite song, like I enjoy Drops of Jupiter, Landslide. But at a certain point, you're trying to sleep and your brain's broken. You're like, I can't do it.
I don't know,
anymore.
man. I don't know, man. If I heard a bunch of like just fucking assholes at 3 a.m. screaming, "You better lose yourself in the moment."
Yeah, that's
would,
what I
go
mean.
shoot
If it's
those guys.
Eminem, then
anything Chicken Hunting by ICP, and you're just like, "Oh, do I even get close
I wouldn't.
to the
Yeah, I wouldn't
juggalos?"
approach that.
Now that's when you
Whoop,
take a
whoop,
bite out
family,
of a
mind
grenade.
turning it down.
Whoop whoop, fam! Can I offer you some water at this time in the evening?
They spray Fago on me.
Aw, they call you a Fago.
Ooh.
They're like, "We'll drink you." You're like, "What the
They all
fuck?
blow me.
Is that what you guys do?"
I come back to the
They
cabin.
blow you and they give you $2 each for getting to blow you.
I come back with
$6
Juggalo makeup
richer.
on. I come back with Juggalo makeup on. I'm like, yeah, I think they're going to turn it down.
You
Like,
come
how
back
did it go? You're like, totally fine. Nothing weird.
I definitely
happened
didn't
at
get
all.
$6.
Yeah, you're like, is that 6 very crumpled ones? I'm like,
Is that 6 crumpled
I had
ones
them
covered in
already.
butt sweat?
I already had them.
Where'd you get the face paint, bro?
I tripped and fell
Into a bunch of face paint?
into a bunch of. They have it laid out on the ground. You just put your face in it. It's quicker and easier.
We see some
spread more face
fat juggalo bitch walk by, and she's just got your face paint like on her thighs and
Oh,
fupa
no.
area. Yeah, we're just like,
I have her face paint on my dick and balls
no,
with the
it's
Speedo
both.
over
It's
it.
both. It's both. It's
Dick
a
and balls?
69. You guys 69, and so
Oh.
the face is upside down at first, and you're like, is she painting her pussy? And you're like, hell no. It just looks like
She forced me.
it looks like Paul Stanley upside down on her pussy.
Oh no!
Better than Peter Chris upside
Well,
down
of
on her
course.
pussy. Your dick looks like Peter Chris.
No, it doesn't.
She
It's
did Peter
definitely
Chris.
a
She
Gene
did
Simmons 'cause
the
it has
cat.
a long tongue.
She did the
underneath
cat.
it. Yeah,
Her
she-
face paint is on your dick, and your face paint is on her dick. So you did the Gene Simmons, but she did the Peter Chris.
This
But then
is-
who's Ace Frehley?
No,
I'm
one-
Ace
no one
Frehley. I'm
has
just on
me.
the porch like,
Who's Eric Carr?
he's dead.
No, he's transitioned into a woman now.
Vince Neil killed Erica Carr.
Erica Carr. This is getting
If he's
confusing.
transitioning into a
Yeah,
woman,
I think
Erica.
he went with a different name, which you think it'd be right there, Eric to Erica. It's
Yeah.
barely a change.
Yeah, but then people would probably be dicks about it and
Or
be
no,
like, "What's
is
up,
it
Eric?"
No, Eric Carr is dead. Who's the other one? Vinny Vincent.
Razzle.
Vinny
Razzle's
Vincent
dead.
is a woman now. Razzle's dead. Still
Vinny
dead.
Vincent,
Vinny Vincent.
Victoria
replaced-
Vincent is dead.
This is getting
Victoria Vincent killed Razzle with
Oh my
permission
God.
from Vince. Victoria
Yeah,
Razzle
Vince was-
put a voodoo hex on Vince Neil and killed Razzle. Can we say that?
So the voodoo hex was to put Vince Neil through his terrible.
Victoria Beckham put a hex because Victoria Beckham is a transitioned Victor vampire who took and put a hex on Vince Neil so that he would kill Vinnie Paul.
Vinnie Paul.
Yeah, Vinnie Paul's dead.
Oh yeah, he died recently.
Yeah, he's in hell with his brother Dimebag Darrell making Cowboys from Hell music, waiting for Phil Anselmo to come down and just.
Yeah, and he sucks. So
Phil
he
Anselmo's
should.
a Nazi.
Yeah, he sucks. He should go to hell.
I'm a cowboy in hell. Now Dimebag Darrell is shredding in hell.
God, I can't wait till we have our one live
Yeah, I
performance.
can't wait
and
till the
someone
metal.
jumps
I
and
can't wait till the
kills
metal
you.
community comes after me for saying bad things about Dimebag Darrell and Vincent Paul. What about Vincent Price?
That's your defense. What about a guy with a similar name?
Yeah, what about other Vincents?
What about Vinnie Vincent?
What about Vincent Van Gogh? That crazy fucker
Yeah,
chopped
what
his
about
ear
his
off for a
ear?
whore.
And, yeah, and we should all be.
So what? He
lucky.
painted a bunch of flowers and chopped his ear off for a hooker. Like I'm supposed to respect that guy?
We are getting the hottest takes. I don't even know what happened.
We're rewriting history, baby.
We're still mad about the guy approaching us at the cabin.
I'm mad about that guy because that fucker. You know what? It's not jet. You know, it's jet ski guys and river rats pretending they own houses. That's the people I hate.
I don't know. Are we that bad?
No.
Can't blow off a little steam?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The one
I wish
time
I
would have
been in the Speedo.
I wish you. I wish
you
you had.
imagine coming up.
I wish you had still been playing the Party Boy song that came up and everybody
that
was
was
like,
an
I
accident.
didn't add this.
Yeah. It was after If You're Gonna Be Dumb.
I know. That's what I hate is I was going through that playlist, like looking for songs from the weekend to add to my playlist. And I like found that and I was like, listen to it. And I was like,
Such a good song.
I was like, it's very long though. And then like it gets to 3
There's
minutes
another
in.
version on Spotify.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens with that Party Boy song. But yeah, imagine if that guy, imagine you walk up to that scenario.
Imagine he pulls up his shirt and he's like, you trying to meet my glizzy? And we're like, no, do you have a hot dog?
Yeah, I'm like, what is it now? No, just
is it an Oscar Mayer or a Nathan's?
Imagine walking up and it's Dead Flowers just ended and you're like coming around the bushes and then I'm just on the cooler thrusting slowly to a sad song. Do you still approach and say turn the music down or do you cut your losses and
How
say
slow
honey
is the
there's
thrust?
pretty slow, like a landslide thrust, like a no, not like slow motion.
I was gonna
just
say
like because it pops to like a yeah.
I took my love and I took it
I
down.
mean, what? Yeah, is it better for him if it's faster?
Okay,
Fast thrusting in the Speedo to landslide? That guy has every right to come up and tell us to stop.
Fast thrusting implies aggression that the man would have to match. Slow thrusting implies a sensuality that the man would not want to be around.
Interesting.
I feel, in my opinion. If it was me, let's put it this way. If me and my girl were out camping and like we were just like in a tent somewhere and we heard like
your house.
It's just like this continuation of just like, what the fuck is this? And then like she's like, honey, go do something about it. Go do something. And you're getting madder and madder about it because you're like, I'm just trying to fucking sleep. I know I can sleep through this, but she won't shut the fuck up. And then like you're finally like, fine, I'll fucking talk to him. So not only are you didn't care about the noise, but now you're pissed about it because she made you mad about it. I come up, I see a guy going dun 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 dun, thrust into that, and it's just these. I see a bunch of drunk men smoking cigarettes at 3 a.m. And you're just,
no one's even acknowledging me.
Yeah.
You guys are just smoking and drinking. I'm just like nonstop.
I'm not approaching those people.
Yeah, you turn around and you say, honey.
You say, honey,
No.
Those men are not fuckable with. You go talk to them. But then
They're
you
gonna
don't.
fuck her.
You don't want your
The
missus
guy
going around.
thrusting on the cooler and
She
pitch
sees it and
dark.
she's like, that's bigger than his. Look
Yeah,
at him.
Of course it is.
Oh, my husband couldn't even tell these guys to stop, and this guy's showing off his package at 3 a.m. to anybody that'll walk by. That guy's got the confidence of a man.
And he clearly has the stamina. It's clear he's been doing this for hours.
Comes back and yells at her husband, and she's like,
She just comes back and starts packing.
Kids. Yeah, we'll stay together for the kids, but I will not love you,
I'm
and I
with
will not kiss you.
The party boy man now.
And like you're just at every holiday. Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun,
Just
dun,
eating
dun,
turkey
dun,
at
dun,
Thanksgiving.
dun, in a holiday
Your
sweater.
kids are like, Dad, to me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, holiday sweater with Speedo. Holy
Just
shit.
always Speedo, but different dress up like Halloween,
Yeah.
like costume from the waist up. Speedo. Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. Thanksgiving, nice. Let's say like a button up with a sweater vest.
Yeah.
You know, collar out and everything. Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. Christmas sweater, Santa hat. You know,
Yeah.
Mrs. doing Mrs. Claus. You guys
Santa
are having.
Speedo.
Dun, 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 dun.
Little white ball on the
I'm just there looking more miserable each holiday, like just more unshaven and like gone, just drinking a
New
lot.
Year's Eve, funny glasses, top
Dun,
hat.
dun, 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 funny glasses on the Speedo. Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun,
little
dun, dun,
ball.
dun, dun, dun,
This
dun,
ball's gonna drop T-shirt.
Yeah.
Pointing down to my Speedo.
but then it's like one of those fun shirts where you
Get
like
Clark's
press it
on
and
it.
there's like an actual ball that drops. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. And then at midnight the shirt goes dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun. That's what I hate. I hate this build up over all the holidays. It's just
know,
dun,
it's
dun,
the same.
dun, dun, dun,
Like,
dun,
yeah,
dun,
it's
dun,
eventually
dun,
gonna
dun, dun.
crescendo.
You think it's gonna drop at some point? Like you're just I'm constantly. That's what's making me drink so much is the fact that my children are becoming more and more attached to a man that doesn't drop and calling him dad. And then I'm sitting over drinking in the corner. When's the drop?
I've never said a single word, but they're
Yeah,
like,
dun, dun, dun,
Party
dun,
Boy
dun,
Dad
dun.
does so many activities with us.
Party Boy Dad understands us. He really understands our souls.
It's
What
me
did you
dropping
do?
them off in the parent lane at school.
Dun, dun,
I'm at PTO meetings just looking concerned over some recent homework, but I'm still standing up and thrusting. It's right on the table. The teacher's just like, Jesus Christ, this is a man. I'm at their graduation.
Everyone hears you just coming out.
Middle
down
school
the
graduation,
hallway.
the one that means the least. Yeah, they're like, oh, it's the cool dad. The kids have really blossomed since.
At the apple orchard with the family, just enjoying getting the donuts,
picking apples, rubbing them on my shirt,
rubbing them on your speedo, giving them to people.
Everyone's like the best.
They're like, Jesus Christ,
you got to get this guy. I don't know what he does.
He's got the Midas touch with apples or something. It's like the most appliest apple I've ever put in my mouth. But it's deafeningly loud sometimes.
It gets louder each.
I feel like when you're right next to it, it's so loud. But like my wife loves it.
Does it come from me?
Like you're
crotch?
like, where is that? No, it's like an aura that follows you, kind of like how like on TV shows people have like music behind them.
Yeah,
it's like that. You're like, where the fuck is that coming from? But like, it's only when you're closer. Like, you know how sometimes you hear things and it's like it's in your head. It's so loud. It's everywhere.
You feel like you're autistic.
Yeah, that's how loud it is when you're right next to you. But
everyone except you is totally fine with it.
It's just like so.
Yeah. I'm on my deathbed. A little slower, but still there.
No, still the
Still.
Even the heart rate monitor.
Yeah,
That's what
I'm at the first dad's funeral. Everyone's like, moment of silence, and that's the only time I do stop. And I look so sad. One tear comes down, and then they're like, "Thank you." I turn old and become.
That's when it happens.
Six.
That's when it happens. You finally turn old and you become Mr. Six.
And
that's the origin story.
I'm 93.
Then you're 93, and then you have a three-year-old. So when you're 96, you you're way all the way up those golden stairs into heaven.
Oh, hell yeah.
Leaving your 3-year-old behind to be raised by your wife, who now cannot hear because of so many decades next to a deafening. You knew
what it was when you signed up.
You're just in her. She loves it though. Like the rumbling bass from it just jiggles her whole orgasm system. I don't know what women got. I don't know how you make a woman come.
Her whole orgasm.
I don't know how women come, but like it's shaking. Like women are like, I'll sit on a dryer or go down her bumpy road with bad shocks, and like it's like shakes everything up.
Ladies,
get
it together.
These aren't ladies. Christ. These are ladies.
Jerk off in the shower like the rest of
No,
us.
ladies need to sit on a dryer filled with baseballs on an uneven
that's
floor.
That's gonna be so bad for them.
So she's like bent over the dryer full of baseballs while her whole body's just jiggling, and you're just in there.
Oh, we don't need the baseballs if it's me, baby.
If it's just me, my balls are the baseballs. If you know what I mean.
I don't take the Speedo off. I insert my boner Speedo into you.
Oh, that's the only way to come is the boner Speedo, hitting that G spot just right, or your Speedo spot just right. If I do say so myself. But just punching it. That Speedo just punches that G spot in ways you could never imagine.